I am Tracy Greenberg at Kavali Life on Periscope, and I am super excited to be doing this Peri-train training for all of you. I have been enlisted by and needed to give you some Periscope support, and today I'm going to teach you all about how to do Peri-trains for Global Meditation Scope. Actually, we're going to have two different kinds of trains for all of you hosts and soon-to-be hosts, prospective hosts. The first one is going to be for the people who have been selected as hosts already. And once you've been selected, you will be asked to participate in a Periscope train so that you can do several things. So the main objectives in this particular train is to tell people what Global Meditation Scope is all about, to announce that you are an official host for Global Meditation Scope, to direct people to the website globalmeditationscope.com so they know that they can get more information there. And lastly, to let people know that they can apply to be hosts too and how to do that. Now, the second group of Peri-trains that we're going to be having will be to help primarily to support the people who either aren't scoping regularly or don't have a lot of followers. So this will give people reasons to press that start broadcast button, maybe get them more comfortable doing it, and it will give people more exposure. At the same time, gaining more followers, of course. And even if you don't fall into these two categories, you can still join these Periscope trains, because why not? Who doesn't like joining Periscope trains? Maybe you're just looking for something to scope about that day. Maybe you're particularly interested about the topic that we've posed. And by the way, the second group of trains that we're going to be running, these aren't necessarily directly related to Global Meditation Scope, meaning we're not just going to be promoting Global Meditation Scope in these trains. We're going to have different topics. Maybe there's a topic on mental health. Maybe there's a topic on inspiration. Maybe there's a topic on our favorite relaxation technique. So there's lots of different things we can do for that and make it interesting, and it will all be related to you know, like the main topics, the main categories that are in Global Meditation Scope, like move, breathe, heal, create, sound. Is that all of them? And you know, things having to do with the spirit and getting connected to our self, like meditation. Oh yeah, so what is a Peri-train? So a Peri-train is a sequence of broadcasters scoping one after the other, and each broadcaster has signed up for a particular time slot in this sequence. And the idea is that each broadcaster at the end of their scope passes the torch, if you will, to the next broadcaster, who then carries on. So it's like this continuous train of people scoping and jumping from scope to scope to scope. So what are the benefits of doing this? Well, one, you get to press the start broadcast button. So if you're someone who needs encouragement, or you're looking for motivation to broadcast, or you're looking for topics to do, this is great for that. It secondly gives you more exposure, because the other people on your train will be in your scope and they'll be sharing it out with their followers. So this will get you more followers in turn. You'll get lots more hearts, you'll get lots of supportive comments, and last but not least, you'll be connecting with lots of amazing people in this community, and you're going to learn lots of incredible things along the way. Okay, so you're going to sign up for Peri-train. You can do that in the Facebook group. There will be posts that list the trains that are coming up, and then either there will be a spreadsheet where with a link to the spreadsheet where you can sign up, or if it's an informal one, we might just do it right there in the Facebook group. So you pick your time slot, and then as all the time slots get filled in, follow each of the people that are going to be on your same Peri-train. and set the goal to attend as many of those scopes, if not all of them, as you can, so that you can support everybody in that group. And how you support is by inviting your followers, by sharing it on Facebook and Twitter, by giving encouraging comments, by giving lots of hearts. You want to make sure that you have everything set up well in advance so that you're not scrambling at the last second and then getting, ungrounded and all worked up so that when it comes time to do your broadcast, you're not really present and you're kind of freaked out and you're not even noticing comments flying by. So if you are well prepared, this goes so far in making your scope go really, really smoothly. So the first thing I'd like to suggest is that you set your title ahead of time so that when you jump out of the scope before yours to go get yours ready, you're not stressed out because you only have 30 seconds left before you're supposed to go live and you're like making mistakes and what's the hashtag and all this kind of stuff. So even the day before, set your title and have it in like your notes app or your word processor app somewhere where you can easily, just before your scope, go in, copy it, and then open up your Periscope app and paste the title in. In your title, please make sure that you use the hashtag Global Meditation Scope, the whole thing written out, and any other hashtags that you feel are appropriate. Of course, don't forget your title of your scope, and please include the handle of the person who is following you. This is just another way to make it easy for people to find that person. So if they weren't able to follow them on the broadcast, they'll be able to go back to your scope, see the title, and find that person that way. And if you can find out what the real name of that person is, that's a bonus. If you know what their gender is, that's a bonus. And may I suggest, I don't think many people do this, but I think it's nice if you can just even say a word or two, like this isn't what the scope is about, but if you can just say a word or two about that person, it'll help really build that feeling that this is a community, and it'll help build some anticipation and momentum for that coming scope. You'll also want to have any shortcuts all ready to go that you think might be useful for support in other people's scopes. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'll add a little bonus training at the end of this video about how to use shortcuts and why you may want to. So you're going to want to put this in your calendar, and even perhaps when the train is beginning, have that in your calendar. And if everything is set up, then you can just enjoy the other scopes, give lots of support, and then when it comes time for your broadcast, you can relax and be calm and be really present and rock your broadcast. Okay, great, it's Periscope time, so jump on that train and watch as many of the scopes as you can. Support as many of the people, of your fellow broadcasters as you can, and make sure you're on that one just before your scope. You've got everything prepared. There's two best times to announce that you are the next broadcaster so you can get people following you, and that is near the beginning of the person's scope, just before you. You type in "I'm next," and then you could throw up some emojis and get some followers then. And then maybe when there's 3 minutes left in their scope, you can say "I'm next" again, and then hopefully that broadcaster will notice. And so this is also something for you to do when it's your time to broadcast. Hopefully that broadcaster will notice you say "I'm next," and then they will say, okay, Jim Smith is next. Jim, please throw up some emojis so we can all follow you. So then type in a bunch of the same emojis so it really stands out. And then the broadcaster will say, okay, Jim is the purple hearts. So everyone, when you see the purple hearts come up, tap on that comment and click follow. And so do that several times. And then when there's 1 or 2 minutes left, you can say, okay, I'm going to jump off now. I'm going to prepare for my scope. So then you can jump off that scope and go to where you have your title already prepared, copy it, open Periscope back up, paste in your title, make sure your Twitter icon is on so it gets shared on Twitter. Turn on or turn off your location indicator, however you want to do that. And then take a moment to center yourself, however you like to do that. This is something I need to do at least because I find I get pretty ungrounded in that whole like jump off, and like I feel like all this pressure to make sure I start on time. And so make sure you're present, and it makes it easier to be able to follow the comments and have a successful scope. So then when your time comes, press start broadcast, and of course, welcome all the people coming in, ask everyone to share, introduce yourself, talk about what, say a quick word about what a Peri-train is and the fact that this is a Peri-train, because some people will be coming on that maybe have never seen a Peri-train. Periscope's getting lots of new subscribers all the time. So you can just say that this is a sequence of a bunch of broadcasters. We're all talking about this. I'm going to be followed by, and then if they happen to, that person that is coming up happens to be there, you can tell the viewers to follow that broadcaster, and then get into your scope, what it is you want to talk about. And keep going until there's a few minutes left. When there's a few minutes left, you want to say, okay, by the way, this scope's going to end in a few minutes, but I want to make sure that everybody is following Jim Smith. Jim, are you here? Jim, if you're here, make sure you put up a bunch of emoticons so we can all follow you. And then once Jim does that and you get through that part, then take the next few minutes. Make sure you stay on broadcasting until you are told by the other people in the scope that Jim has gone live. You'll see in the comments, okay, Jim's live, Jim's live. So keep going. In this last few minutes, you can finish whatever it is you had been talking about. You can summarize. You can talk a little bit about global meditation scope if it's one of those scopes that wasn't specifically about that. You can also spend some time asking people to follow you, asking people to share if they haven't already shared. You can give a little bit more information about yourself and what it is you do. And don't forget that you should be following Jim Smith too. So you can also click on his comment and follow, click follow at this time. So now once you see the comments coming up saying that Jim has gone live, then you go on Jim's scope. You've done it. You've done your broadcast, and now you get to relax and support Jim and the people following Jim. Wasn't that fun? So I encourage all of you to get in lots of these Peri-trains. Even you experienced Peri-trainers, get in these extra ones that we're going to be doing in the Facebook group. Let's give lots of support, especially to the new people coming into Periscope, the new people joining Global Meditation Scope as prospective hosts. And I can't wait to see you all in these trains. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for a bonus training about keyboard shortcuts. Thank you.
Welcome to your bonus video training on how to do a shortcut and why. So shortcuts are good to use when you are supporting other people's scopes, and it saves you from typing lots of letters and things in when there's things that you repeatedly want to say in people's scopes. So let me see if I can get this. There we go. So what you want to do is go into settings. It'll make more sense as I show you what I'm about to do. Then you want to go to General. Then you want to go down here to Keyboard. Oh, and look at that. They're not called shortcuts anymore. Apparently they're called text replacement. So click on text replacement. And you can see here a couple that I already have set up. Let me zoom in here a little bit. Okay, so here's one that I did. Whenever I type in ENH and then space, this automatically populates. So it changes the ENH into energy healing. So when I'm in somebody's scope and they're saying, hey, everyone promote yourself, what is it that you do? This makes it easy. And another thing, when I go into someone's scope and they don't know who I am and they are trying to read my handle, usually people can't. So all I have to do is type in KV, and when I hit space, it'll change KV automatically into Kaivalya Life, also known as Tracy Greenberg. So all of that comes out just by typing KV. So does this make sense now? So this is how you create one. You just press this plus sign up here. And so if you are in a global meditation scope that's all about promoting global meditation scope, maybe you want the phrase to say, apply to be a host at Global Meditation Scope.com. And then the shortcut. So, sorry, was I not holding that in the right place? Sorry about that. The letters that you're going to pick here, make sure it's something that you aren't going to type on a regular basis. Because like if you make it be GMS, for example, every time you type GMS in the future, it'll always change it into that. So let's pick something you're not likely to type again. Sometimes I like to just pick the first letter of the first few words. So let's do apply to be a host. How about that? Atba. I don't think I'll be typing Atba anytime soon. Apply to be a host. So, you might want to come up with something a little bit more memorable by that, then you save it. So now, if I go into my notes, okay, I've opened up a blank note here. I'm going to type in apply to be a host. I have to remember what that was. Atba. And see, that's what it's going to change it into. Press space. Boom. Apply to be a host at globalmeditationscope.com. So this can come in handy for a variety of things. So this is something you might want to think about ahead of time and have ready to go when you are jumping in Peri-trains. Hope you found that useful.